We're back after the initial shock of opening that parcel that you saw on part 1, because this will be part 2 now. We're going to do a questions and answers.
I just want to say first that this cigar is one of the best cigars I've smoked in a while. It's perfect for a daytime cigar because it's kind of mild to medium bodied, and it's just nice, easy smoking.
Tons of smoke in there.
It's just
still razor sharp burn.
It's mild to medium in strength, I think, but in flavour wise, I'm getting a lot of flavour from it. But
It's
not
really
overpowering.
Still like that. Still that bit of Christmassy taste. Like subtle. But yeah, it is woody.
Been woody the whole way down.
Woody.
But I mean, like, you wouldn't need to have like a heavy meal before smoking this or anything. Just like, you're drinking tea, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a coffee. It's not like you don't need. I wouldn't really.
Pot of tea.
I don't think I'd even have an alcoholic drink with this.
Just shut it door because the neighbours are cutting lawn.
Right, I'm going to knock that ash before it goes everywhere. Right, so yeah, we've had the last video. A few people have given us quite a lot of questions, and oh shit, that's a solid ash. And the questions have come from people that probably don't smoke cigars and they want to know more about it to get into it. So for some people these answers might be pretty basic, but for anyone looking to get into cigars, this should help. The first one is from, I've got a few here, from my mate Ben Clooney. Cheers for the questions. And he asks, firstly he asks why matches and not a lighter. There's no it's all a matter of preference really. Matches seem to be a more traditional, purer way of lighting.
But yeah, we've also got the matches.
We've got torch lighters are good for. It's a matter of preference really.
I mean, obviously if you're outside, the match ain't going to cut it most of the time because it winds, so your jet lighters
where it's at.
Spot on then. I mean, you know, that's something like £5 from China, but you know, you can pay like over 100 quid for jet lighters.
I prefer lighting with matches, but to light with matches you can't have any wind at all. You need to be inside and
soft flame.
One thing not to do really is to use a petrol, like using a Zippo that's not been converted, just normal Zippo with petrol. It can impart a flavour to the cigar that you don't want. Although I think you can now get
like jet lighter inserts.
Can you get a fuel that won't impart flavour?
I'm not sure.
So. But yeah, you don't want anything that's gonna. And if you are using matches, you want to let the sulphur burn off the match first, because if you struck the match and lit the cigar straight away, you're going to get that sulphur from a lot of matches anyway.
Yeah.
In the end, so yeah, it's a matter of preference. But matches and cedar spills being a old school traditional way really. And this is a good question. Ben asks as well. Part inhale, part push out from. Basically, he's asking, do you inhale the cigar smoke, or do you just push it out? Never inhale cigar smoke. It's not like smoking cigarettes where you're smoking it for the nicotine and you're inhaling it into your lungs. It's all about the flavour in your mouth and the aroma that it produces as well. So you kind of, it's hard to explain without just showing you. You kind of just draw on it. Some people hold the smoke in the mouth. Some people just puff it straight out. But you just don't inhale it.
Yeah, a lot of the flavour comes from the retrohale, which, if you've been a cigarette smoker, you know that you sort of like blow the smoke out through your nose, but you're not inhaling into your lungs. You're sort of like blocking your blocking your throat off, and it's just going through your mouth and through your nasal passage, where a lot of your taste is related to the smell, which sounds kind of weird, but
that's where I get all my
definitely
flavour
get
from.
most of your flavour from the retrohale.
If I was to just push it without ever blowing it out my nose, I don't think you're not really getting the full benefit of the flavours. So kind of like Chris said, you're bypassing your lungs and you're just going into your mouth, straight out your nose, and that's where you get to taste the cigar properly. But yeah, so I'm guessing. I mean, people do inhale cigars, but
yeah, I'd be flat on my back anyway with all nicotine. So I mean, obviously you absorb the nicotine through your cheek linings, so you're still getting a nicotine hit. But I think if you were inhaling, that's probably why a lot of people that don't smoke who have a cigar at a wedding or whatever, they feel sick and that.
And then they put off it out there. Yeah, and you take it slow as well. Like, you don't want to. The faster you smoke it, the hotter it's going to get, and the more you start to get really bitter flavours. So just take it easy. And
yeah, I mean,
it's something that you need to relax with.
Yeah, you're not just going to have a cigar. I mean, you're not going to get many cigars of decent quality really that are going to smoke under half hour anyway. So I think something that you just sort of like going to pick up like a cig.
A lot of people ask me when I go out somewhere, if I've gone to a restaurant or something, people will say, "Why haven't you brought any cigars with you?" Because it's not like a cigarette where you can just nip out for one. If I haven't got an hour or 2 hours to set aside to sit and enjoy it, then to me there's no point really. So yeah, I think there's another from Ben. Oh yeah, it says, "An hour seems like a long time to be smoking. Do you ever part smoke and come back?" No, never. I mean, people do, but once you've let that cigar go out, if you come back to it to relight it, it's
just not going to taste.
It just tastes like shit, really.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why there's so many different size cigars and stuff in there that you can choose one for your how long you've got and what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people, like, if I were to leave that, if I had suddenly had to go out and I couldn't smoke the rest of that, even though there's a lot left, I don't even know if I'd come back to it because it's not going to taste right. You'd just be smoking it for the sake of smoking. But yeah, so choose a size cigar for if you know you've only got like half an hour, 45 minutes. You don't want to be smoking something like this. It's just a waste. But then you can get smaller size cigars that you can enjoy in that time frame. Really. That's the questions from Ben. Hope that helps, mate. Are we doing more?
Yeah.
Right. Dan Cooper, our biggest fan. Cheers for all your comments, Dan, and all them questions. It's appreciated.
Definitely.
He says he wants to come and sit in here. You need to get across. Right. You've put quite a few, so let's work through them. How many cigars do you both typically keep?
Yeah, well,
Well, me, I'm like a crackhead when it comes to cigars. I've got no patience. I'm shit at aging cigars because if I've got them, I want to smoke them. I mean, like Chris can.
Yeah, I've got quite a few, probably a couple of hundred, which I've collected over a few years. The idea being that the longer you can age them, the more the blend of tobacco will sort of like blend together within the cigar, and the harshness will start to fade away that you can get with a new cigar, and the subtleties of the flavours will start to develop. I mean, some cigars are better smoked young, and with age they'll lose some of the punch that they're renowned for initially, whereas other cigars are way too raw to start with, and mellow in time and become creamy and develop more flavours within. Cuban cigars definitely benefit from age. Non-Cuban cigars is the other way. Generally they're smoked fresh. There are certain ones which will develop over time, but with Cubans generally you want to age them, especially with the Cohibas, generally not smoked under 5-year-old. But just recently, the production in Cuba has been a lot better, and they're smoking well young. So yeah, I keep more.
If I guess it's only, I reckon, like if I could afford to buy more, I'd buy a box of cigars and I'd maybe have 1 or 2 out of it and then forget about them, put them away. That's kind of what you do.
Yeah,
and then 5 years later, come back to them, or I'll try one every year maybe. But like I said, patience-wise, I'm a bit shit at that. That kind of ties into. I think you've answered that. Is there is there a prerequisite for how many you keep, and do they go off? Well,
yeah, we've probably just answered that.
The more the better, but it can be an expensive hobby, and that money's probably the only limiting factor for me, I think.
Yeah.
And no, yeah, they don't go off. Do you both have a significant stock of your go-to cigar for everyday smoking and a few of the more expensive variety as a treat? Yeah. I'd say so,
definitely.
Yeah. I couldn't smoke anything like. I mean, I know this was gifted to us, but this is when we're doing these videos, they're like treat cigars, aren't they?
Yeah, sort of like this is a Casa del Habano release, which means it were a limited release. That's what that second red band is, and like that one that got gifted earlier off K, that's a regional edition for Great Britain. So these sort of like command a higher price tag, and generally, I mean, I think that's one of the other questions is, are they more expensive the cigar, the better they are? Generally, I would say yeah, probably. I mean, if you have a cheaper Cuban and age it for time, it can become good, but these limited editions, regional editions, they're generally a lot better from the start.
But then again, there's a lot of budget Cuban cigars that really are affordable for like if I won the lottery, I'd be smoking stuff like this every day. But as it is, like there's a load of cheap cigars that, although they're inexpensive, they're still a decent cigar for like when I'm walking my dog or just driving, knocking about, when I'm not sitting to I don't know, give you full attention to a cigar. There's quite a lot of cheaper Cuban brands out there, and a lot of them, like, you can get a smaller. If you get the smaller cigars are cheaper, and they're good for like everyday smoking. And then you've got all non-Cuban cigars. But
yeah, there's just literally thousands of different cigars.
What makes a good cigar? Construction, age, and flavours.
Yeah.
All
really.
those things.
I mean, Cubans are renowned for having the worst quality control, yet the Cuban leaf is far superior to the non-Cuban stuff, taste-wise. There's some really good blends with the non-Cubans, but there's just something about the Cuban mystique and the leaf that they do taste better. I mean, not everyone thinks so. Some people swear by non-Cubans, but I suppose we're just Cuban hordes.
Cubs and Cubans.
Yeah.
Also, oh shit, what am I going to say? Fuck's sake, nah, it's gone. What were we talking about? Oh, construction-wise, yeah. You've got to remember with cigars that it's a handmade product. It's literally leaves that have been. It's from the ground. So somebody's rolled this cigar, sat there and rolled it in a factory.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's been made on a machine where every cigar is going to be the same.
I'll say there's a link of. I'll try and find a link and put it on the bottom of the video of how our cigar is made from start to finish. It takes something like 8 years from the leaves being picked, all hand picked, and then it's dried and aired, and then moved from factories, sorted out, graded into different leaves, rolled, and then all the boxes are handmade. Everything's handmade. I mean, it's.
That's why I love. That's the beauty of it. It's from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing more annoying when you've got a cigar. It might be quite an expensive cigar, something that you've really looked forward to. You cut the cap. You cut the you cut the cap. and you try and draw, and it's just you just can't get anything off it. You just got to kind of you can try and loosen it like you saw us do last week with the poker, but sometimes it's just luck of the draw really. I mean, it's rare that happens, but it does, and it's friggin' annoying. Yeah. But you've got to just accept that, like I said, it's a handmade product.
We'll cut video off because it's at 15 minutes, which I think's sort of like YouTube length, and I think we'll do a part 3 because we're on a roll.